Hey everyone, today I am doing a review that I'm very excited for. I can't wait to get it out of the box. Today I'm going to be reviewing the DC Universe Batman Arkham City Legacy Edition Catwoman and Batman 2-pack Grayscale. Now this is an interesting pack because, for those of you who don't know, it's based on this poster right here, which they did a series of them, but I've always thought they were really cool looking posters. I actually have this one right here, a small version in my room. But yeah, so this box is it's beautiful. I don't know what else to say. In fact, it's actually such a beautiful looking box, and it's so well packaged that I actually bought a second one of these just so I can keep it mint on card, which I almost never do. So let's take a look though. Just a gorgeous box. We got Gotham City in the background, we got the bat signal, we've got a blimp which is characteristic of the animated series, but since Paul Dini also did these Arkham games, I think they lifted it from it and inserted it because they could be seen in the background of Arkham City. At the top it says DC Universe, and it also says Adult Collector, which I really like. But yes, you can see them packaged here with the beautiful city in the background. You got a water tower, the blimp again. And you can see they just really recreated that iconic pose very well. Now on the side of the box, it's also quite striking. Turn it here a little bit. We get a front view of the figures, looking really nice. And then we get a color image of Batman. At least it appears to be color in the Arkham City pose. It's lifted directly from one of the posters. I think they just added color, but it's really beautiful. On the other side, we get another Batman, I think, from a poster, and it appears with this one he's only colored on the mouth. And this package has air holes, which may be irritating to some collectors, which I understand. It's basically the only thing wrong with this box. And as you may have noticed, it's a really massive box. It's hard for me to even get the whole thing in the frame. On the back here, though, we get both of the figures, Arkham City and DC Universe at the top. We get an Easter egg from the game. Vote for Harvey Dent made into Two-Face. Or maybe it was just vote for Two-Face, I really don't remember. We get Arkham. Don't know exactly what that says. But here it says, orphaned at a young age, Selina Kyle was forced to fend for herself on the cold, cruel streets of Gotham City, ultimately turning to a life of larceny in order to survive. To help ensure her success as a cat burglar, Kyle studied martial arts and gymnastics, honing her strength and athleticism. As her thieving exploits grew more audacious, she adopted the nom de guerre, I don't speak French, Catwoman, partly inspired by Batman, her crime-fighting foil. Now armed with her cat-o'-nine tails whip, she is on the hunt for Two-Face, a target that may lead to her undoing. You can see more of the background there. There's the smoke or fog at the bottom. And then over here we got, as gangs of criminals prowl the streets of the walled Arkham City, Batman searches for a sign of Catwoman, aka Selina Kyle, but time is running out. Now in the acid-charred hands of Two-Face, Catwoman is about to face trial and public execution with the insane former district attorney as the judge and jury. Batman must find Catwoman and save her from Two-Face and escape alive, a feat even Batman will find nearly impossible. And then at the bottom here we just got, boring blah blah blah. But yeah, this is, in my opinion, a gorgeous box. And even though I have two, it almost hurts me to open it, but I'm going to do that. So let's cut to the figures out of the box. Something I wanted to show really quick is that when you cut this part off and open it, there's actually bat symbols on the inside of it, just adding to the coolness of this box. Just awesome. So before I get into the review, I wanted to show off my best attempt at recreating the Arkham City poster. These figures have somewhat limited articulation, so it's a bit hard to do, but I think it looks pretty good. So, I'm going to do this review kind of in an interesting way. Due to the fact that the whip is so perfectly wrapped around Batman's gauntlet out of the box, I'm just going to leave it on him. So unfortunately you will not be able to see her by herself with the whip, but I wanted to give you a good look at her. You can see that the paint has variations in it, and it's very nice. The only thing that is in color is the goggles, which is accurate to the poster. She is very difficult to stand, especially due to her lack of ankle pivot. You can see the boots get grayer. But let's go over the articulation. Unfortunately, due to that limited articulation, I was gonna buy the color version of Catwoman, but to be my main Catwoman, but I just don't think it's gonna happen. So, she has, unfortunately, like no up and down, just very slight. Gotta start learning to use that hand. Very slight. It's very sad they didn't give her like a Marvel Legends style, because would have been making that pose a lot better that I did earlier. But she does rotate left and right. Arms do go out. They rotate at the shoulder. We do get a single joint there, which does go more than 90, which is nice. Rotate at the wrist. Ab crunch. Rotate. We get probably the best looking T joint that I've seen Mattel do. Almost no crotch gap. Leg goes forward a bit, but not at all due to the ass. Rotate there. Single joint at the knee, which doesn't even, it's like a 45, it's pretty sad. And then we get hinges for the feet. And that's all for that. Pretty standard Mattel pre-multiverse articulation, just not very great, but the sculpt, as you can see, is rock solid. But let's move on to Batman. Here we go with Batman. And he looks pretty good. The body, the sculpt and everything is just amazing. It amazes me. They did a really good job there. Sculpt wise, well, let me give you a look at the figure first. You can see the cape is black. On the outside it's got a gray and then gradient to black. We've got some gray in there. And this is, mine unfortunately is warped out of the box, and it's got some plastic discoloration. I might have to hair dry it, but it will always be discolored. So my only real problem with this is the head sculpt. The jaw, the end of the cowl looks, before the joint, looks very strange. I don't really like it, but other than that, I think it looks pretty good. It's just a very strangely sculpted jaw, I guess. But he actually has more of a joint, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Rotate. Goes out real easy. 45-degree on the gauntlet, pretty sad. Ab crunch. Rotate. It's pretty tight. There is a T-joint here, but mine doesn't want to move, and I don't want to break it, so sorry about that. We do get rotation at the wrist. Rotation here. Okay. 45 there. I don't know why they did this. And then we get hinge there. And I think they did a really good job on the boot sculpt. It's even got the ridges on the shoes, which I remember from the game. It's just a really good looking figure. And then here's a closer look at the whip. Can't even really tell where it ends, honestly. I think here. But yeah, I actually owned this figure before, but it was a bootleg. It was all black, at least costume-wise. I didn't realize it was a bootleg at the time, but I quickly found out when it arrived, and it had like a really hard cape. The materials were terrible. The eyes were painted awful, and damn, these joints are really loose. That sucks. And it had like something rattling around inside of it, so got a refund on it and ended up selling them. But that's it for this pack, guys. I'll post some photos at the end of the review, but the articulation sucks on these guys, I'm not gonna lie, and they're very good to get for mint on card. There's unfortunately not as much playability with them out of the box, but they still do look good if you can manage to get them to stand. Speaking of stands, I might use them with a McFarlane stand and see if that works. But yeah, do I recommend this? I do, but only if you're a big fan of Arkham City and you like the poster. But I do think they're pretty good display figures, not so much for playing around. But yeah. Alright, that's it for the review. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.